welcome to episode, I think 34 of Short, Fat, and Balding, a podcast for armchair quarterbacks by armchair quarterbacks. We are starting out, it's just me and James. James, say hello.
Hello.
Wow, you had the enthusiasm of a fucking donkey right there.
Yeah, I have been called an ass
That's fair.
by a lot of people.
That is fair. Anyways, we are going to talk about a couple of things this week. We're going to discuss the NHL playoffs. We have a very officiative theme this week. NHL playoffs, officiating, umpires being soft as shit, and then we're going to finish it off with some fun with the City Connect uniforms this year and what we think of them. So be ready for all that, and as always, so much more on this week's episode of Short, Fat, and Balding.
Golden State team is Valkyries.
Okay.
Their color is violent.
Their color is violent or violet?
Violet.
Violet. Okay.
Yes.
You're
Violet
turning
Valkyrie.
violet. Speaking of violet, or actually speaking of violence, the NHL playoffs
Yes.
have been testy, honestly, but I feel like, and maybe you can. I don't. Have you watched much outside of the Rangers series?
I watched the first couple periods of Dallas game last night.
Okay, because I've been. I mean, I'm a slut for hockey, and I've been diving head first into playoff hockey, and it seems like for whatever reason, the Rangers series is being refereed so much tighter than any other series. Because I watched
Not
McJesus
last
get
night.
cross-checked in the fucking mouth, and very little occurred. But no, last night was pretty loose.
Pretty loose. Panarin got
Oh,
literally held back, and they called nothing. That one made me very violent.
yeah. No, it was bad. He was held for like a solid 30 seconds. Um, but I mean, outside of that, it's been. I mean, if Rempe breathes on somebody, they call it a penalty. I mean,
Yeah.
he got shoved to the ground by Sebastian Aho and then got finger wagged by the referee like he did something wrong.
It's, I don't know. So hit or miss, it feels like.
Yeah.
Either they call everything or they call
And
nothing.
it sucks because it kind of takes away from what's been, in my opinion, a pretty stellar NHL postseason. Like, granted, the first round, like, only two series went 7 games, but I feel like overall it's been a really close, contentious playoffs with lots of like really
Yeah.
good games going into overtime, and like it just you kind of get bummed. Like I even say the same thing. The Rangers Kane series has been really really good, and obviously we're on the receiving end of the first 3 games being overtime. Overtime winners in those two, and um, what was a 2-goal lead before they pulled a goalie. 1-goal win in game one. I mean, even then, though, those first 3 games, I felt like they were calling fucking everything, and then all of a sudden they decided to swallow the whistles.
Yeah, I mean, I get I get the argument for let them play, but there needs to be consistency
Right.
because if you're getting away with something during the whole series and then all of a sudden one game they're calling it, it's like, well, you haven't called it literally the last 4 days. Why are you calling it now?
Yeah, and
Like I think that's what a lot of fans want out of professional, like not even just NHL, like even NFL, MLB. Like we want just consistent calling.
right, and it's especially prudent in the postseason when fans are tuning into the same teams every other night for 2 months, and all the scrutiny's on it, and it feels like I don't necessarily think the playoffs, these leagues postseasons are necessarily worse officiating than the regular season. I just think they're under a finer microscope, so we see things because obviously we're more hyper aware of what's happening in the game. But
Yeah.
I just can't. Maybe I'm just a fucking piece of shit, but I just feel like officiating in general has just fallen off the cliff since I like over the past 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, when it all started with the replacement refs.
Yeah, you know what?
That's
That's
when it
that's
started.
the sports Harambe moment, isn't it?
It is. And if you're going, like, there needs to be a form of consistency. And I get it varies with each ref. Like, if in the MLB, for example, if you have one guy who's like, I'm giving you 2 inches, 3 inches of leeway on each side of the plate, if he's consistently calling that, fine. As long as you're consistent with your calls. But we run into situations like where you had the same referee groups who don't call something, and then the next week they're calling that same thing, and it's like, okay, but I mean, I'm sure the um, NFL players, right? If they have a referee that's known to swallow the whistle when it comes to holding, you got to be egregious with the hold in order
Mm-hmm.
to get a holding call.
Yep.
You're gonna hold a little bit,
Yeah.
and then you can't the next week switch it up because it's you're not. I feel like I don't want to say it ruins the game, but it definitely affects it.
Right, and I'll say another thing that I think, especially when it comes to the postseason, and I think this has been a point of contention, or not, maybe not necessarily contention, but a point of discussion on the major sports shows, is that these leagues, for whatever reason, decide to take refereeing or umpire groups or whatever you want to call them, whatever the official title of the official is. They're like typically throughout the season they're in a group and they go from every game together and they don't ever break up and they have like established communication. And then in the postseason they create like what they want to call like all-star officiating crews, but then it creates a breakdown in communication and they don't sync off of each other, and so like calls that could be potentially contentious, they're not willing to have that conversation because they don't want to step on each other's toes. So calls that could be easily overturned or easily discussed, all of a sudden you're like, why aren't they talking about that? And it's because those two guys haven't worked together all season and they don't have that trust. Why are you breaking up these officiating crews? Like the officiating crew itself should be ranked, and then the top 8 or whatever get into the postseason, or 16, whatever you want, and you break it down. Like so, like if you want the Super Bowl, you have to be the number one most efficient refereeing crew throughout the regular season. Then you will get the Super Bowl. Same thing with the Major League Baseball's fucking postseason World Series. I just don't understand why they're breaking up these crews, because you can see that it creates a precipitous drop in synergy with the officiating, and it creates conversations that shouldn't necessarily be happening, and or on the opposite end of the spectrum, conversations that should happen aren't happening because people don't want to piss everybody off. And I'm just, you want the best officiating you can get.
I understand why they pull the best from each group, but at the same time, like, you're not the all-star team isn't putting on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it's a baseball where you're like, all right, well, this is number one team baseball, so we got to take all these guys. It's these guys are. I mean, to put it plain and simple, they're affecting the game.
Right.
So if you have five guys that work great together, keep them together.
Correct.
Like, it's just it feels like common sense.
It does, but apparently it's not. I don't know.
It in I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe not as baseball. I feel like there's a lot of judgment calls,
Yeah, and they
a
don't
lot closer calls.
and they don't really talk with each other much, except for like maybe on foul balls. But
Yeah,
I almost never see umpires getting together to discuss an out at first base. They're like they just turn to the first base umpire and go, "Was he out?" And he says yes. They're like, "He's out."
yeah. But like with the other sports, I just feel like there needs to be a sense of consistency, and it needs to be throughout the whole playoffs. Like you can't. I don't know. I just feel like it's hard to say do it this specific way because there could still be issues, but I feel like they need to give that a shot. Because I feel like in every sport during the playoffs, there's complaints about officiating. And I'll be the first one to say officials are human.
Yeah.
They're going to miss stuff. They're not going to get everything right. And I don't expect them to. But if you're consistent with your calls, people aren't going to care as much.
Correct.
It reminds me of the Super Bowl where it's like it feels like the last few Super Bowls, the first three quarters, whistles are swallowed unless it's blatant. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden you get in the last 2 minutes and all of a
You,
sudden they're flagging
yeah.
everything.
You just you lose balance for a second and brush your hand on a guy's shoulder to get called for pass interference.
Yeah. And I feel like
And I
there
get
needs to be consistency in that
yeah,
too.
and I get what you're saying. Like for instance, a really good example because other sports calls happen so fast, and then pretty much all the rules are judgment calls. Whereas, well, I mean, baseball is a judgment call in terms of the strike zone. But for example, you know how we grew up with it. You got an ump who calls outside strikes. You know he's calling the outside strike. You got to mentally move your strike zone. As long as he's calling the outside strikes, we're all okay with it, right? You don't get mad until you get called struck out on an outside strike and the next guy gets a walk, and then you're like, "What the fuck? That's the same pitch I just got. Why the fuck?" So
Yeah.
it's 100%, and I feel like basketball is probably the most egregious of them all. I know you don't watch much basketball. I know you're watching more women's basketball, but my father talks about it all the time. Where like it feels like player by player, it's a discussion. Like the foul that LeBron James gets is not going to be the foul that Billy Nobody gets, and that's just
Yeah.
like what the fuck is that about? And sometimes you can drive directly into a dude's chest, go for a layup, use strength, get nothing called, and then other times you start to drive at the top of the key and barely touch legs, and then they call a foul. So it's like I don't know. Basketball confuses the shit out of me. I never really know what the fuck is a foul anymore.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on when it comes to basketball.
Yeah,
Even watching women's basketball, I have no idea what's going on.
I mean I know what a foul is, but I just don't understand what makes one over the other when they do and don't call.
Exactly.
Um,
But I mean, you see that in the NFL too. I mean, you
if I
looked at
I would
Tom
say with
Brady wrong and that laundry's flying.
yeah, and I would say it's very subjective with holding because there's holding on every play. So it's like which official saw it and what's their threshold for holding.
Exactly. But that's where I'm saying there needs to be consistency.
The only
If
way
you're
you're
going
going to
to
get
call it
consistency
now,
is with robots.
if you're going to call it now, call it now
Right.
and call it later. If you're not going to call it now, don't call it later.
Right.
And I feel like that's a problem because there's a lot of pressure on officials, especially in big playoff games where, if they miss this call, they're going to get reamed up and down. Maybe there should be a standard by which they get paid on how consistent they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they talk about how they don't want to be part-time referees, make them full-time, but say, here's the deal. You're going to get fined if you mess up XYZ amount of calls. Angel Hernandez is going to be forced to retire because he won't get a paycheck.
Right.
But
Which is the goal.
yeah, but that's a positive thing for the sport. I mean, you're already paying them enough money anyways. So why not, if it gives you a better product on the field, on the court, on the ice, why not make them full-time employees and say, all right, listen, you're going to be a full-time employee, but if you continually fuck up, you're going to get fined. And I think you'll have less players getting mad at referees and umpires and stuff because they're going to think twice before they call on a questionable play. You know what I'm saying? They'll be forced to be more consistent because if they're calling this constantly, the league, you can't find them for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think officials need to be held accountable because you, I've been on both sides. I umpired, granted, it was Little League or Midget League or whatever we're calling it. Um, as somebody who umpired before, I tried to be as consistent as possible.
Yeah.
If I'm going to call a strike here, that's a strike tonight. Don't like it? Too bad. That's a strike for everybody.
Well, you umpired
You
with
know
me.
what I'm saying?
You know
Yeah.
my little speech.
Yeah.
I'm going
So,
I'm going chest to ankles, white to white. If you're gonna fucking call and argue with me, get out.
and but you go into the game knowing what to expect.
Right. But and we
You know what I'm
also were
saying?
in a league where we wanted kids to swing the bat because if we actually called a real strike zone, we'd be there all fucking day.
Exactly. And there was a time limit, so
Right.
we wanted to get through at least 3 innings. Um, but here's like that's the thing though. Like, I mean, growing up, I caught, so I knew the balls and strikes. I knew what he was calling, what he wasn't calling. So mentally, when I went up to bat, it was my turn to bat. I knew the strike zone like the back of my hand, and I'd tell my teammates what it was. You know, if he was calling him outside, I'd look at my team and say, "He's calling him outside. Swing at him."
Right.
You know, but again, it comes down to consistency. And I think that's the biggest problem with refereeing or officiating right now, I guess, is there's no consistency.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
If you look at the first two games of the playoffs, the Rangers series,
Mm-hmm.
there was so many power plays and all that.
Yeah, I mean the first two games, I
Then
think the
you
two teams combined had over 30.
and
The
then you
first
look
three
at the
games,
last you look at the last two games and there's been like five.
five. Yeah, five exactly. Yep.
So you can't tell me that they're calling the same game.
Right. There's no way that the two same teams that have been playing have changed their play styles so dramatically as to cut their penalties by 60%. It's just not
Yeah,
plausible.
it just doesn't make any sense. And I think that's the biggest problem I have with officiating is it's just not consistent. And I feel like it's not just MLB, it's not just NFL, it's not just NHL, it's across all pro sports,
It is. Yeah,
you
it is
know?
across all pro sports, and some of that is an increase in our ability to see because obviously with HD television replays, that kind of thing, some of it is a better educated fan base. We know the rules, we understand the game a lot better than predecessors, and also some of it is the fact that I quite frankly don't think that referees are held to a high enough standard.
No, and I feel like a lot of the problems we have with them, like what was it, 2, 3 years ago, the umpires were wearing like wristbands and bands on their jerseys as like a it was like a umpires have feeling recognition thing.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like
The fact that
you
the fact that the MLB can't fire Angel Hernandez is a problem in and of itself.
do they need to like designate him for assignment. They have
Well,
to
they
be able to at
can't.
least do that
No, the
because this
umpires union he can't. He's under contract.
they can choose to not use him.
No, they can't. There's been a whole discussion about it.
I'm fully convinced he's legally blind,
Yeah, it's him and the other. There's another guy that's just as bad as him.
but I mean, are we? And then not to like the biggest thing that pisses me off. I mean, obviously we're gonna talk about it, but they're soft as baby shit, dude.
Yeah, baseball's the
Like,
worst. But yes,
but like I said, a couple years ago they were wearing the "I Have a Feeling" bands, and it's like, dude, like I
CB
don't know. I feel
Puckett,
like
that's the
some,
guy.
yeah, I feel like some umpires just kind of, I don't know. I feel like they get a power trip and they say, like, when Aaron Boone got tossed,
Yeah, when it wasn't even him.
yeah, it wasn't even him; it was a fan.
Yeah,
And then
he.
after the game, he like doubled down on it. He was like, "Well, that's his dugout. He needs to control it." Well, he can't control what a bunch of grown ass men say.
And he also
Like
can't
that's
control
not
what a fucking fan says. What
exactly. And
what
I think,
could you imagine that press for the Yankees if Aaron Hernandez turned and told a fan to shut the fuck up?
yeah,
I mean, that's a bad look for the league, man.
you definitely just. Oh no, you said Angel Hernandez. Were you talking about Aaron Boone?
Yeah, I was talking about Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Um. Yeah, that you can't like. I just feel like it was super soft and for no reason. Like the cat. And I love Yes for doing this, but they panned right on Aaron Boone the whole time. Like and he didn't say a single word. You can't toss somebody who didn't say a single word. It's I don't know. And then the Aaron Judge ejection was horseshit.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Judge doesn't get ejected. And it's not because he's Aaron Judge, because he literally never says anything to the umpires. And if he does, it's very respectful. Whereas, like, all he said was, "This is fucking bullshit. You've been bullshit all game." Where I feel like where we came from in the league we played in, that's a compliment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the nicer things that can get said to you.
Yeah.
So why the fuck are we tossing Aaron Judge over something foolish like that? And I know like the Aaron Judge and Aaron Boone situations are brought to our attention because we're Yankees fans and we're New York sports fans. I bet you that shit happens more
But
than
he, I was gonna
just those
say
two.
it happens so frequently that John Boy has made an entire fucking content creator career out of it.
And it's,
That's all he does.
don't get me wrong. Sometimes people say shit that deserves to get them ejected. I'm not saying, somebody's out here threatening to kill you, don't eject them. But the whole notion that you've been bullshit all game, this is fucking bullshit, is worth an ejection is fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean the baseball umpires wouldn't make it a second in a hockey game, dude. Have you ever heard those mic'd ups? Those
Yeah.
dudes get absolutely I wish instead an umpire would just give it back to him.
Yeah.
I would much prefer instead of Aaron Judge getting kicked out of that game, that umpire turn to Aaron and go, "I've been fucking calling that all game, Aaron. Get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
Just who cares?"
And I feel like back in the day they used to.
Absolutely, dude. When like Joe Torre was managing the Yankees, and granted, like we're only 30, so we don't even go. I know shit gets crazier the farther back you go. But like in terms of
Just look
our
at the nicknames.
right, in terms of our like growing up through the game, dude, you managers had to be borderline, like basically hit a fucking umpire to get kicked out of the game.
Or Lou Pinella.
Or Lou Pinella, but Lou Pinella would go
Lou-
up and like kick dirt on him and shit. Like he was over the top. But like you had to do shit like that to get kicked out of the game. You didn't have to just bark at somebody. I know that there's like this weird unwritten rule in baseball that you don't question balls and strikes, but that's the most called call in the game. That's the one you're going to argue the most. There's not enough
And
of
when,
the other shit to bitch about.
and when you're continually fucking up and being inconsistent, what do you want them to do?
Right. And when it's
Sit
shit
down
that
and
you
take
can
it? Like,
right. And when it's shit that you can see obviously from the dugout, like you can see a high or a low ball from inside the dugout. So like it's hard to keep quiet when you're a professional and you know the strike zone. And they're the worst. I know we're Yankee homers, but they're the worst with Aaron Judge. They do not know how to call a strike zone for a 6'7" guy. They can't handle it. I don't know what they call shit at his ankles all the fucking time.
mhm. But that's where I like, so last or this last summer we went to a minor league game in Syracuse,
The Mets.
and they actually it was Mets versus Yankees minor league teams.
And
They
there's robo
have
umps.
they have a system where the batter can literally tap his helmet and they check with the robot. It doesn't take more than 5 seconds,
Yeah.
and it's correct.
Dude, we've had that TV tracker as long as I've been alive.
And I understand the TV tracker is not perfect. Same way with the yellow line on the football field during when you're watching at home.
Right.
But if we could get, like, when it comes to balls and strikes in baseball, if we had that system in the MLB, there would be a lot less people getting tossed from games. And I'm gonna be honest with you, people buy tickets to go see Aaron Judge,
Exactly.
and for him to get tossed in the second, and it was the second inning,
Yeah. And
for
he's
saying this is fucking bullshit. You've been bullshit all game.
yeah.
You're taking away,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
I think there should be a clear line where the umpire can eject somebody. Like I said, maybe you got to fine them. I mean, they're going to cry about it. We'll be hearing umpire lives matter for the next 6 months, but we need to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like you're taking away from the on the field product, which is you're hurting your employer. You know, how good would it be if I worked at Walmart and when people walked in, I just told them go to Price Chopper.
How
You know what
many
I'm saying? Like
how many times has Aaron Judge been kicked out this year already?
once
No, I'm watching a compilation right now. And it's definitely more than once.
he's only ever been ejected once.
What are you talking about?
That was his first ejection.
I refuse to believe that.
It was. Like I said, Aaron Judge does not get ejected. That was his first
No, no,
one.
no, no. Aaron Boone.
Oh, Aaron Boone. Oh my
Yeah.
God, daily.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was gonna say
Pretty
he
sure
gets
he.
ejected.
Well, what was kind of funny about his the whole situation where the guy in the crowd chirped the umpire and he got kicked out because in the post game presser wasn't he like I get kicked out of games all the time. That's not what bothers me. But if I'm gonna get kicked out, I better earn it. Like,
Yeah, like yeah. At least he's honest. Like shit.
well,
But
I'm.
like
I mean, Aaron Boone. I mean, I think his like one of his adages is like he does it to protect his guys. Like I'll get kicked out so you don't have to.
yeah, and I'm sure the players love that.
The one thing I do as much as like the ejections in baseball really piss me off and the umpires are mad soft. I do like the fact that baseball is the only sport where once you get ejected, you get to have your say. You just get to let it all on the
Yeah,
line. You can walk right out, say whatever you want, and then you get your bid out, and then you go. You're done. No other
yeah.
sport lets you do that.
I mean, that is kind of nice. I mean, at least if you're gonna get ejected, earn it. But you think that umpire was shitting bricks when Aaron Judge started walking back at him?
I would be. That's a six
I'd
seven
be
monster.
shitting my pants. I also feel like if I was D'Angelo talking shit to Rempe, I'd be shitting my pants. But D'Angelo doesn't know how to read, so that doesn't surprise me. But to rant for another day. I'm sick of that fucking piece of shit.
It would take a lot for me to allow somebody to yell at me that close to my face. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Here it is, the third one, the number three worst ejection of the year on the list is Aaron Boone getting kicked out because of somebody in the stands.
That's number three.
Yeah, his reaction's so funny, dude. Dude,
He's
that's the
probably
most
just confused.
that's the most animated I've ever seen a human being in my life. He literally has his hands up like there's cops pointing guns at him.
It's fair.
The thing that made that ejection so egregious is he like everybody in the dugout was like that was a fan, and the umpire literally goes, "I don't care."
Yeah. Like I don't know if you can take back an ejection. I don't know if that's a thing you can do.
Somebody
But
said, "Is it just this is a random girl?" She's like, "I just stumbled across this, but is it just me or does the Yankees coach get kicked out every other game?" And I'm like, "Nope, that's accurate. That's
that actually, yeah, that's every other seems a little generous. But yeah,
uh,
I
he
feel like every time I turn on the TV, every time I turn on a Yankees game, he's getting fucking thrown out.
he's going for a record."
He's got to be.
But at this point, I feel like he just has a reputation, kind of like we were saying earlier with
Sweet Lou.
yeah, Lupinella. Like Lupinella, he already had a short leash because of who he was.
Yeah, he comes out of that dugout and they're just like gone.
Yeah, because you know you're gonna
Doesn't
get a
matter.
fucking earful, so there's no point.
He's he steps out there like you're gone. He's like I'm changing pitchers.
Right.
Like chill. But yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like they're soft. They do stupid shit, and then when you call them out on their stupid shit, you get ejected.
Well, you know what else would solve this problem is I think baseball's the only sport where you can get kicked out for like saying shit. Like basketball, you can get technicals, but then technicals lead to getting fouled out of the game. So like that's the way they could do it, but you still would have to get. I think you have to get two technicals on
Two
top of each other,
techs.
like a double technical, or you have to get, or it counts towards your five. So like if a dude has 4 fouls and he's chirping you nonstop, you could technical him and fucking kick him out. Um,
I don't like that phrase, technical foul.
yeah, but they only do it. It's like flagrant foul too. They only do it to differentiate it from what they call a standard foul, I think, or something like that. I don't know, but either way. But like in football, you see dudes bitch all the time. Like they're walking by the referee bitching, and same thing with hockey, dude. Hockey, I've seen dudes lay into officials on their way to the penalty box, and maybe it's because the official like gets to put them in that little box and close the door. That's like their sense of relief.
Yeah.
But
They're
they
like, keep talking shit. You're
yeah,
gonna go sit in this box.
but they don't kick guys out for chirping them, and so like there's this weird dynamic in baseball where like you can't say anything to the official because they just have the power to kick you out for whatever fucking reason they want. And I think if there was some level of accountability there, like you have to have a firm reason to kick somebody out, not just because they told you your fucking strike call sucked, like grow up, then it would change dramatically, and maybe they'd fucking at least that part of the game would end. But half the fun of I feel like ejections in baseball are like NASCAR crashes. Like there's people that go to the game just to see somebody get ejected.
Ejections and fights.
Fights?
If fights, MLB fights. I feel like those are the crashes in comparison. I mean, maybe it was me, but like back, I mean, granted, I don't like missing Yankees games anyways, but
Right.
um, back in the day, whenever Yankees and Boston played, I tuned in fully expecting someone to fight each other.
Yeah, like back with the days when Alex Rodriguez got in a literal fist fight with
Jason Varitek.
Jason Veritek. Yep.
Yep.
Or
That and like
back when
Clemens and Pedro.
back when Pedro Martinez threw Don Zimmer to the ground. 78
Yeah.
year old man.
Fucking
God, I do miss
like
that. I do miss the rivalry being that heated. It's nothing like it used to be, man.
I feel like there isn't really a heated rivalry like that.
Only with the fans, and even then, it's gotten a lot more tame than it used to be, which is fine. Like, it, it used to be to the level where like it was almost like gang shit. Like if you're like wearing the wrong
Yeah.
colors, then it was bad. But now it's gotten honestly. What I see now is I see a lot of like leagues switching to like East Coast, West Coast. Like there's like friendly rivalries between teams in the like same league, and then like it's like nah, fuck that dude from the other side. You don't know nothing.
Yeah. I mean, there's Ohio State, Michigan, but
Well, college is a
they're
different
like
animal, man.
violent. Yeah.
College, dude. Even I was watching a YouTube video, and it was like the top 10 college football introductions, and even people who like love European soccer were like, "No, this is different, bro. College football is crazy."
Yeah. I think, well, there's the rivalry in college football. But I feel like that isn't really like a fighting each other.
No, you're wrong. That's legitimate hatred.
Yeah, but like they're not gonna fight each other. They're just gonna fucking hate each other.
I'm 100% certain that there are fights at Michigan Ohio State every year.
Oh, I don't doubt that one bit.
Right. So, dude,
I meant like the on the field product.
well, even then, usually in the pregame, there's some scuffles.
Yeah.
College is different because I feel like college is different because college is like it's more regional. So like now, if you know what I'm trying to say, because like there's so many more colleges than there are professional teams. There's usually only 30 to 32 professional teams in the whole country. Whereas college is literally like every single tiny subsect of regions in the United States has a college team that they could root for on like a Division 1 level. And so when you have that rivalry, like it's legitimately like your hometown. Like everything is riding on that. So like back before the Big East fell into shambles, that Syracuse UConn rivalry, man, that was fucking brutal. And
Yeah.
it was live or die. I mean, yeah, I know you don't watch basketball, but I'm sure you remember the year that they went to 6 overtimes. We got out of school early we got a 2 hour delay at school because the game went till 2 a.m. Like that's how like
Yeah.
we would never get that with a professional sports game. I don't care who you are. you're not getting that as in a professional sports game, but the colleges, man, it's just different. And so
Can we please make Super Bowl Monday a
they're
national fucking holiday?
they're moving. Roger Goodell has already talked about in the next CBA moving the Super Bowl to President's Day weekend.
I like that.
Me too. I don't know why they haven't done that forever. I wouldn't give a fuck if there was a 3 week gap between whatever. Or crazy idea, maybe do 2 buys and allow a buy before the conference championship and then allow a buy before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad about that. I don't think anybody would be mad about that.
Mm-mm.
Nobody gives a fuck about the Pro Bowl anyways.
Mm-mm.
So you're not wasting our time by doing a buy. Like nobody watches it, so it's already a buy as it is. But I guess they're gonna go to 18 regular season games, and then when they do that, they're gonna push the Super Bowl to President's Day. Which
No, I don't like the 18 rig. I don't like that.
18 games seems like a lot, dude.
It is a lot.
Which is
And
crazy because we're hockey fans and baseball fans. But I don't know why 18
yeah.
football games feels like a fucking century, and like 80 hockey games feels like nothing.
See, here's the thing. Hockey, I don't like hockey. They should be playing once a week.
I would say that or every
Like,
other week.
like the punishment they put their bodies through, they should be playing once a week. But they also play with broken bones and they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I gotta say that the postseason injury report is always crazy.
They're like, oh yeah, no, he's been skating around with a broken back. And we're like, oh, actually, I lied. It's hockey, upper body injury.
Yeah,
Like like they don't even tell you what's hurting. They're just like, yeah, it's a lower body injury. And I'm like, oh, what part of their lower body? Ah, it's just a lower body injury. Well, did he tear his fucking ACL? It's a lower body injury. I'm fully convinced these guys are tearing ACLs, getting surgery, getting it fixed, and then are back out there 4 weeks later. Like I'm fully convinced that's what's happening.
probably.
But like they just don't care. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
like an American with no health insurance. They're like, ah, my leg's broken, but I still got to go to work. Like it's just it's psychotic. So hockey, I won't even touch because I'm like, you know what? You guys want to play 80 games, play 80 games. And then at the end, they're like, let's play more. Love playoffs, 7 game series. Let's go. And I'm just like, okay. But, it's one of those things where I think an 18 game season, you're going to see a lot more injuries. I mean, granted, this year, it seemed like everybody got hurt. Do you see the Jets are opening up on Monday Night Football again this year?
yeah, against San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it in San Francisco?
It's in San Francisco. I'm like, great.
Bro,
Aaron
imagine.
Rodgers is going to come back for 4 more plays.
I was gonna say, imagine he has another 3.4 seconds of fucking game time.
That would be.
That was the most Jets thing ever, dude.
It really was.
Like I feel bad for Jets fans
I
because like
would too if they didn't, if they would just shut the fuck up for 5 minutes.
we were talking in just like about how like New York teams being good is like good for every league. And I
Hmm.
was talking like Nate's family are Jets fans, obviously, and I was talking. I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, honestly, if the Giants got good, like that'd be like the whammo for New York sports media. I go, the Yankees are good right now. The Rangers are good right now. The Knicks are good right now. I go, if the Giants were good, he goes, well, the Jets are pretty good. I go, Nate, no one fucking cares about the Jets. That does not count. The Jets are part of the Mets Islanders Nets package.
I'm
And
not gonna lie, that's even if you ask a New Yorker how many New York football teams there are, they're gonna go two, the Giants and the Bills.
right, like literally, like
Like, what about the Jets?
Jets fans are Islanders fans and they're Mets fans. I'm sorry, that's a fact. Now the Nets are a little different because they were a New Jersey team and then they moved to Brooklyn. So like it's 50-50 and the Knicks honestly have a pretty the New York market pretty well locked down, but if you're going to package the four together, they're Nets fans too. But if you're the big three, they're definitely like Jets, Mets, Islanders, like that's your package. Islanders fans are all Mets fans. Mets fans are all fucking Jets fans. Jets fans are all Islander fans or Mets fans. Like it's just like it's weird how that works out, but it's how it works out. I don't know.
It's fuck all three of them, for being honest.
Yeah, yeah, I know that they all suck, especially the Islanders.
Yeah.
Like I'm I have like a playful rivalry and friendship with Mets fans because they're irrelevant. Um, the Giants are a rivalry because I'm an Eagles fan, and so it's in division. The Islanders can go fuck themselves. The whole fan base can go fuck themselves. You're not even a New York team; you're a Long Island team, and that's that. Like
Now,
Islanders
question.
Islanders fans are so fucking lame, and like the city can't stand the Islanders to the point where like they were literally in Barclays Center, which is like the Mecca Arena in Brooklyn, New York, and Brooklyn's very populous, and they did so fucking bad that they had to go build a fucking stadium back on Long Island because the pussy ass Long Island fans that exist out there couldn't drive into Brooklyn to go watch their team. They just bitched about it instead.
Question.
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals. Islanders versus Lightning. Who you rooting for?
Oh, don't fucking do that to me, dude. What? Long Island versus Long Island South? Sick matchup, dude.
I had an answer, but I'm not going to say it into a
Well, the
microphone.
answer is a tactical nuclear bomb. That's what the fucking answer
There it
is.
is. I was going to say 9/11 2.0, but
No, that's. I don't want people to die, but honestly, if that was the Eastern Conference Final, I'm immediately rooting
time out,
for.
time out, time out, time out. You don't want people to die, but tactical nuke was the better option.
That's why. That's why I was rescinding my own comment. I was like, I was feeling remorse for my own rage.
That's fair.
Because
That's
I was
fair.
like, no, that's like a lot of people that are dead. Like, I don't want to do that. If I could move them to like a remote atoll, maybe. But um, no, nobody dies. If I could, if honestly, what would happen seriously if that was the Eastern Conference Final, then I would immediately root for whoever the Western Conference team was.
That's fair.
Like, I don't even care. I don't care who the fuck it is. I don't care. I don't even really hate a Western Conference team. If I'm being honest with you, I think all of them are kind of cool, and they're all better than the vast majority of Eastern Conference teams. Like, I would rather have any Western Conference team over probably 8 Eastern Conference teams that I could think of off the top of my head right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I like the start. I like watching the stars.
Fuck Texas.
Oh, okay.
You know my rule, James. If you can fucking go to the beach during hockey season, you don't deserve a cup.
That's actually I like that rule.
Yeah.
That's like when Chargers fans complain about not having a Super Bowl. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, it gets cold up here. Like, congrats. If the Chargers lost the Super Bowl, you can go lay on the beach and forget about it because the game ends at fucking noon where you live. Meanwhile, I'm over here with the Bengals lost Super Bowl. If I wanted to go outside and scream, I had to put on a fucking winter jacket and some fucking boots because there's 3 feet of snow on the ground.
Do you
Like, fuck
wanna hear the absolute craziest NFL Sunday schedule?
you. Yeah.
Hawaii.
Oh,
Errol told me that back when he was in Hawaii, dude, they used to like get the Blackstone out or like the whatever the grill was at the time. I think it was a little earlier than Blackstone, but they basically used to get the griddle out and they would like make like a big breakfast because the first game came on at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and they would watch the main games 9 to like noon or 9 to like 3, and then they'd have the primetime game at 5 o'clock at night, and then at 8 o'clock they'd all go down to like the beach.
it's just not fair.
Yeah, I was like, that's
Fuck
fucking
Eastern
sick.
time zone.
Well, fuck the Eastern
Yo,
time zone, I guess.
could you time out? So that means the early game when they play overseas, you got football from 6 a.m. to fucking 5 p.m.
Well,
or 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then you're just fucking hanging out all day. Like, what the fuck that shit?
Yeah,
Yo, fuck Hawaii.
imagine getting to watch a whole day of football and like still having a day ahead of you.
Imagine being able to watch a whole day of football, post game coverage, and still being in bed by 9:30.
Do you know what when we were in our youth, James? Do you have any our NFL Sunday in Hawaii would have been football all day and then going to the Sandlot and fucking playing baseball with the lights on until 12 o'clock.
Yep.
Man, that would have been tough times to beat. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I moved to Hawaii.
No, it's super expensive and like one bad, volcano explosion and everything's on fire.
That's fair. Isn't Hawaii? They had a wildfire or something, didn't they?
Yeah, awful one in Maui
Yeah.
that was started by a fucking electrical company. Shocker.
Well, it's better than the ones that were started by Canada last year that caused me not to be able to breathe for 3 weeks.
They weren't started by Canada. They were started in Canada. It's not like Mounties went into the woods and threw a bunch of fucking torches.
It was women firefighters that started that. Which to this day, I'm like, what the fuck? Because they were doing a whole training on fire safety or preventing wildfires or some shit, and they started the biggest wildfire in Canadian history. Like, I mean, granted, we can't say anything because Americans do it with fucking um, what are they? Gender reveals.
Yeah.
Like, I think, I think this should be a law. You should have to take a test, and it's just like common knowledge. It's not anything crazy. But if you take it and you fail, and you are caught at any point in time playing with fire, I don't care if it's lighting a candle or blowing out birthday candles, you should be arrested for arson.
Well, arson is intent. If you're really fucking stupid, how can you get charged with intent?
Because you know you're not allowed to have fire in your possession or be anywhere near where fire can be started with. You aren't even allowed to use a grill. Bitch, use your stove. And it better be fucking electric.
Yeah, but electric
Like, we
electric
can't.
ranges can still start fires.
What I'm saying is, we need to let stupid people not near fire, is what I'm saying. My God.
I get you. I do. I just, you know, just giving you a little tease, buddy.
Fucking dumb. Along with the same person who now we have to have caution hot on fucking coffee cups at McDonald's. No shit, it's fucking hot. It's called hot coffee, dumbass.
Dude,
Sorry, that was my rant. I
that
just
that girl got burnt pretty bad. Like I used to make fun of it until I saw the pictures.
what was she showering in it?
No, it got spilt on her in the drive-through. Like they went to go hand it to her and they spilt it.
I feel like I don't think it's directed at her. I think it's directed at people who afterwards burnt themselves and then sued because they knew they could.
Yeah, like you burnt your mouth because you're fucking stupid.
Yeah. Or like that lady who sued Disney at the Haunted Mansion because it scared her too much.
Well,
Like, people like that
stupid is as stupid
make me
does.
upset. Yeah.
What
Oh
if
shit,
better?
those are some big ass rings.
There's a fight
Those
happening at the next game
Las
right
Vegas
now.
Aces got some big ass fucking rings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're big and shiny. Could you imagine the three people that weren't on the team last year just standing there while everybody else is getting a big ass ring and you're just like,
Dude, worse than that.
that's cool.
Worse than that. Imagine like you know how like people get traded in the off season. One of my favorite things in the whole world is when the person from the other, like the team that won, gets their ring in front of like their whole team that didn't.
Yeah.
That's one
Like,
of
I
my
don't even
favorite
want this,
things.
but like, oh, they're hanging the banner. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they won back to back.
Yeah, no, like they did the banner hanging tonight.
Yeah, they. That's when you do it. You do it the first home game of the year, dude.
You're embarrassing me in front of fans, friends. Are you
You're embarrassing yourself.
embarrass me in front of friends? Okay, that's not nice. Not for the children.
I will embarrass you.
Anyways, City Connect jerseys, yeah?
Yes, the City Connect jerseys. All right, let me just pull them up.
That was a private conversation. If you could just not carry that in here, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was private.
Ah, buddy, you're getting dragged either way. Dude, whatever my little sister just
See,
cooked
this
is
is.
fucking terrible smelling. Blech. Okay, so have you seen the City Connect jerseys?
I have seen a couple.
Okay, why don't I'll give you a second. Why don't you pull them up?
Are we just doing this year's
Yes, 2024.
City Connect? How many is there?
I mean, I know one of them is Philly and their softball uniforms. Um,
Apparently, the Dodgers got leaked. Ooh, if that's legit, I like that.
there's an ESPN article tracking all the City Connect jerseys and their debut dates. So Seattle's are goaded; those are S tier. Um, okay, so Cleveland Guardians. So I'm going to send you this article so that way you can follow it with me. Okay.
Already. Yep.
Okay. It is coming your way right meow.
I want the Chick-fil-A AR-15. I want that. Big bad.
I'm also going to make a
Where
tier
are
list.
you? That's fine. Content.
It should be in your
Where are you?
it should be in your Discord DMs.
Ooh, you're sliding in my DMs.
Yeah, baby.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It told me I was leaving Discord, and I just wanted to make sure.
Oh no, you're
Okay.
yeah, you're good. It's just telling you that the link's not from Discord, so like you could get. It's basically
Yeah.
a disclaimer, so
It's
that way
not
if you get
fake.
fucking AIDS on your computer, it's not their fault. Okay, so starting out
Joke's
with
on you. I already have it.
Cleveland, Believeland.
Trash.
Really,
Not a fan.
really.
Hmm.
I don't. I would say it's a B. I don't mind it too much.
I would say it is a D for damn, that's ugly.
That's crazy that you would say that.
I'm just not a fan.
All right. Well, if we average that out, then that is a C between the two of us. So I don't see them on this. I have to add a new image. All right. I think maybe those ones just came out. Yeah, 2 days ago. That's why. JPG. All right. Adding image. Downloads. Open. Perfect. Okay. So Cleveland gets a C. All right. So the next one on this list is the Detroit Tigers, the Motor City Unis.
This one's hard.
Is it? I'm gonna give it a C, dude. It looks like a fucking practice jersey.
I like the jersey itself, but I feel like they swung and missed on the hat.
The hat's terrible.
The hat, I think, ruins it. Yeah, I'll agree with a C. Um, could have been a B if they did something better with the hat.
I don't know why they went so like why would they put that design in the jersey and not flow it up to the hat?
That's what I'm saying.
Like
They
the
could have done
hat,
so
like
much shit with the hat.
they bought the jersey from Nike and they bought the hat from a Chinese website.
I'm surprised Detroit spelled right on it.
Honestly, like it doesn't even look centered.
No.
Oh, that's brutal. Tampa Bay Rays get their S tier. Those Devil Rays jerseys are fucking S tier.
What does the F stand for?
That's like the top super. Like it's above A.
Sexy.
Yeah, sexy. Yeah,
That stands for sexy. Those jerseys are sexy.
yes, they are. Hold on, I gotta grab an image for those. I'm a sucker for the Devil Rays jersey always, and if they're gonna add neon colors to it, absolutely, sign me the fuck up.
The dark gray kind of felt cliche, but with the neon colors, I think that was the perfect choice.
Yes, yes, yes. Like even the Devil
The
Rays
Devil Rays
logo
jerseys,
is hot.
the Devil Rays jerseys were always one of my favorites.
Like back when they were the Devil Rays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't the Rays, whatever. The Devil Rays, those jerseys were always one of my
Yeah, when they
favorites.
yeah the Rays is stupid because it's like a ray of sunshine. It's fucking dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
But back when they were the green and black and gray fucking Devil Rays, dude. I used to have. I don't know if you remember that I used to have
Wait a
a.
minute. That logo is a Devil Ray doing a skateboard trick?
Is it? I thought it
A
was
Ray
just.
executing a stalefish skateboard trick on the inside neck and hip pant hip.
Where's that? Oh, let me pull up a better picture of the full jersey. It's on the inside of the pant hip.
That's what it said.
Because the hat for sure is not a Devil Ray doing a trick of any kind. I don't know. I guess the catchphrase for the unis is grit and glow. Which this sucks for me. This is really hard because these are absolutely sick unis, and I fucking hate the city. So, dude,
Yeah, they
yo,
nailed that though.
they did. Did you actually look at the details in the Devil Ray logo? It's the fucking bridge, like the top 2 points. It's like the bridge over Tampa Bay. It's fucking sick. Let me show you this picture. Copy image. Back into your DMs, daddy. Like, check out that fucking the intricacy. Like, that's such a well thought out logo design.
Yeah.
Definitely S tier. All right, moving on.
I hate it, but yeah.
I hate that it's Tampa. That's what I hate. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
The
If it was
The
anybody else.
Mets are getting a B. Like I'm a sucker for charcoal. I'm totally okay with you rating it lower. I don't think they did anything adventurous. They just took their script, wrote the words NYC on the jersey, and then made it gray.
Yeah. It doesn't feel, I don't know.
Like I
It looks like something you buy off a rack at a Burlington.
right. Yeah, it does. It looks like one of like those like the hip hop jerseys where it's like not meant to be. It's meant to represent
Yeah.
the city and not a team. which like kind of is the
Yes.
goal. And the hat, I mean, I think the hat's kind of tough because I think it has the Queensboro Bridge on it. But other than that, yeah, the hat has the Queensboro Bridge. But even then, they executed it poorly, so I can't even give them kudos to that. Nah, these are trash. I'm actually lowering my grade. These are just trash. No, I'm giving it an
That's
F.
garbage. I'm sorry.
Giving it an F.
So we're doing Philly now.
We are doing Philly now, yes. What do you got for Philly?
I would give them a C.
No, I see. I give Philly a D, dude. They think they look like Sunday softball jerseys, man. They don't look like they belong on professional athletes.
No, they don't. The jerseys themselves are fucking hideous. But the thing that saves it for me is that the hat's a sick idea. I like the hats. If they would have did it like a throwback to the maroon Phillies,
Yeah.
the maroon with the baby blue, and then made the hat maroon with that same logo,
Yes.
I think we're talking S tier.
Yeah, I agree. I think they
But
flubbed it big time on the actual uni, but the hat's sick.
the hat's sick. I would buy that hat just to buy it.
Interesting. Uh, moving on to Pittsburgh. So I like the idea, like the minimalistic in the color being the main focus. I think the execution is kind of trash.
Yeah.
Like I mean
I'd give them a D plus.
right. I was gonna say they get like a C minus, so like that's a solid D. Like it could have been
Like,
so much more, and I think that's why I'm disappointed.
yeah.
And like Pittsburgh can play on having like the best view of any ballpark in the league, and I don't know why they didn't do that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. Um, moving on to the Orioles, boring as fuck. Uh, F in my opinion. They literally just took a black jersey and put I think that's fucking Arial font Baltimore in bold capital letters.
Literally looked like somebody had to, they were like, you have to turn in your design by Friday at 3 o'clock, and it was Friday at 2:45. And they're like,
Yeah,
shit, I haven't done that yet.
and like to further that point even further, they have a bold Arial with like a script B on the helmet and the hat. Like it doesn't even the Baltimore on the jersey does not match the Baltimore on the hat, and it doesn't make any fucking sense.
The B on the hat throws off double A vibes.
Yes, it looks like a child drew it.
And the Baltimore on the jersey, it just looks fucking stupid. Like, why, like, if you're gonna do, like, for Baltimore, like, there's, there's so much culture in Baltimore.
And Maryland loves that shitty
You know
fucking
what I'm saying?
flag they have.
Yeah. Bare minimum, throw some gunshots on there, some
Wow.
bullet holes. Hey, we did crime statistics game of the week, and I
Baltimore
had to
is
pick Baltimore several times.
Baltimore is permanently sponsored by the Crime Statistics Game of the Week.
They are. Apparently the sleeves have something on it.
Maybe.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna get a closer view. So the interior of the jersey is better than the rest of the jersey.
Bro, can I just interject right here? Live reaction to this because you're gonna laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
Astros pitcher Ronel Blanco, who threw a no hitter last year, or sorry, no hitter this April, tossed from start following foreign substance check on glove, will face a 10-game ban. Is that not the most fucking
But
Astros thing you've ever heard?
imagine cheating and not even being good.
Right, they're dog shit.
So yeah, Baltimore deserves an F minus because they're proud of it.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, that's trash.
If
Ooh,
you know our history, then you know Baltimore has pioneered many of America's finest inventions. So it comes as no surprise we are the first MLB team to design the inside of our jersey. Here's an idea: design the outside, you fucking idiots. You swung and you missed.
right.
My
That's
God.
so stupid. Moving on, Cincinnati, in my opinion, gets an S. I love them shits.
Yes. I don't know how it's supposed to connect to the city, but
I don't care.
they're fuego
I was gonna say I don't care. All black with charcoal and red lettering, dude. Sign me up. Sign me up every day of the week.
every day of the week.
S tier. The Seattle Mariners love those. Not
I'm
S
here
tier,
for
but I
it. I
think
don't know
it's a
about the
solid
Black
A.
Pants.
The Black Pants
I'm
are.
here for it. I don't,
I don't know. I'm okay with them.
it was, it just feels they could have done something different,
My
but
biggest issue, my biggest gripe with the uniform is they didn't go with the same color blue on the hat that they did with the jersey, but I can forgive that, I guess. It's a solid A.
oh, the Black Pants are a nod to the Steelheads.
A fish?
No, it was a league team primarily for people of color.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we can say that word.
People of color? Or are we going to say
An
Negroes?
NEGRO league team.
The Negro Leagues, dude. It's
Negro.
a very.
I didn't.
We can say that word. The Negro
Okay,
Leagues,
I
they
didn't
were
want
literally
to.
called the Negro Leagues. It's a historical
Okay, that
fact.
was a nod to them.
Yes, they're a Negro League team. Okay, cool. I like that even more then. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say give them an A.
the Texas Rangers get a D. They look like they're trying to be a medieval Minnesota Twins. I don't really know. They're literally the same colors as the Twins. I don't know what they're trying to do there. It's I guess it's packed with Texas tributes from its TX logo to numerous references to the Lone Star State history. There's even a Peagle patch, which combines the mascots of minor league Fort Worth Panthers and the Dallas Eagles. Just for that, just for the word Peagle, you're getting an F from me. I don't know what you want to grade it, but it's getting an F from me.
Yeah.
You're cool with an F?
It just it. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
No, say your bitch. I just want to
There
make
was so
sure.
many like no, no, no. I'm good with an F. I'm pissed because there's so much they could have done with Texas.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. There's a million things that they could have done and they're also in the Dallas Fort Worth area, so like there's even more they could have done like not only with Texas but also with their actual city and they chose to do none of them.
They chose to give a shout out to
The Minnesota Twins.
their minor league teams, their minor league teams by combining them and doing nothing. That was stupid. The next ones are an S. We don't really need to talk about it.
The Atlanta Braves?
It's an S all day, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's definitely an
all
S.
day, every
It's
day.
just basically a remake of their 1970s uniform, but I mean, that's a sick uniform, so it doesn't matter. If you got it right, why fix
Yeah,
it, right?
Yeah, I wish
Um,
they still wore those colors.
Me too, to be honest with you. Molly, what are we doing right now? Okay, Daddy's in a podcast, so I can't pay attention to you right this second. Um, San Diego Padres, in my opinion, are an A.
Yep.
That helmet is sick. I love that color. Also, a big fan of the fact that the MLB is going to 3D logos on the helmets. That looks so sick all the time. It never misses.
I'm here for that.
Um, the Milwaukee Brewers, uh, B. I like it, but I don't think, given like the other S tier, A tier stuff, I don't think it's on that level. But I don't think it's bad either.
No, it's not bad at all.
Like
I
the
I'd
Coleman
go
grill on the
B to
side
A.
is, yeah, like I say, the Coleman grill on the sleeve is pretty fucking hilarious. But
And the fact that it's the Brew Crew.
right, it's definitely a good nod to like what their team really is. So yeah, you're getting a B, sir. Even though I like all the nods. Just like I said, like when you put it up next to like Cincinnati and Tampa, it's like not even close.
I feel like they had the most fun with their jerseys.
They did. Theirs looks like the players designed it, which I kind of like, you know. And there's also, well,
Yeah.
outside of that, theirs looks like they literally polled their fans and were like, "What LOL funny things do you want on your jersey?" And they're like, "I got ideas, bro." Like, put a grill. And they were like, "Done.
I'm here for that.
Say less, King." The Angels, simple, but I like its retro style, especially for whatever reason. I just like the the number, like the way they did the number on the front of the jersey. Big fan of that.
And it's cream.
It's
I love
cream, which
cream.
is always a win. Cream and red is even more of a win in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
and they got the hat right because given the cream jerseys, you had to go red with a cream accent on the hat, and they nailed that. So I'm gonna give them a B. I don't know what you want to give them, but B for me.
B seems right because it's not quite on tier with the Rays and Cincy.
There's only, as far as I'm concerned, there's only two more, maybe three more that are gonna get up into the SA tier. The rest of them are all pretty much BCs, and then there's definitely one F on there, in my opinion. The Colorado Rockies, dude. This is such a fucking like hit or miss. Like I get what they're doing. They're the fucking Rockies. They put the Rockies on their uniform. Number one, why'd they go green? I guess it's an adaptation of the Colorado license plate, so whatever. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
If they would have gone purple, I think we're talking A to B.
Yeah, if they would have gone
I'd say B plus with
purple
purple.
and black, and
Yep.
also
But this just feels like a C.
their hat doesn't even like go with the jersey. Their hat looks like a default Colorado sticker that you put on the back of your car.
Yeah.
I mean, because of the hat, I might have to drop this down to a D.
I'd go D plus.
Well, there is no D plus. There's F D C
Or
B A S.
all right. So I'm gonna go D seems fair.
Okay. We
Just simple color change, and we're talking B.
we might catch some flack for that one, but I'm ready.
That's fine.
The Kansas City Royals. I'm unimpressed by this one. It's a D because
F.
it's not fucking stupid, but it feels boring.
I'd go F on this one.
Really?
It feels like I said last minute.
That's fair.
It just there's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. You don't look at that and go, "Wow, I really want that." You're just like, "Yeah, that's a jersey."
Yeah.
Like people wore that. Um, Astros. As much as I hate to say this, dude, that's probably an A. The Space City jerseys are nice.
I'm gonna go with C.
Really?
Yeah.
They even use the NASA font, bro. That shit's sick. The only thing that probably could have
Yeah,
made this
but
better for me
C
is if they wore orange pants.
Um, I'm gonna go with C because they cheat, and cheat starts with C.
Okay, I'll
So
make sure
fuck
to
them.
note that when I post this on our social media. C for cheaters.
Yes.
Um, the Washington Nationals for
I think
me,
we're gonna disagree on this one.
because I'm going to slap it with an F,
I think, yeah,
and you probably what? I get the Sakura, I get it. I just think it's boring, dude.
I would go C on this one. You know what this would be a great jersey for? Mother's Day.
Yeah.
With the flowers,
Well, it's not flowers;
uh,
it's cherry trees. But I see what you're saying.
cherry tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know, dude. Just not a. I think they would have done themselves better if they went honest to God with a pink jersey. I think that would have been way bolder and way
Yeah,
cooler. But what do I know? The Dodgers just fucking like what are they doing? It's the same jersey they wear every day,
F.
just with Los on it, I guess.
Yeah,
Do they have another? It says take one on there.
yeah,
Is there another
F,
one?
probably.
I mean, if right now with what we have with Los Dodgers, that's fucking trash. They didn't even try,
Yeah.
and that
No.
sucks because like the Dodgers is one of the most iconic unis in all of baseball, and they could have gone. LA has so much culture, they could have just exploded with this, and they just didn't.
Hmm.
Um,
Don't like it.
you don't like the Giants jersey?
No, that's. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm here. I try it. Yeah.
A,
A. Oh, I'm okay. No, I'm
A,
totally okay with it.
A,
I like it. It's clean. It's unique, and they tried, and you can see
A.
what they're referencing.
The Golden Gate Bridge, the fog. It's. I'm going A. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's
one of my
definitely the
favorites.
most simple A that we've given out, but they did simple and they did it right, in my opinion. They didn't, and they you can tell they took risk, which is what I give a lot of bonus points for taking risk, because like that's the only reason the Angels didn't get into the A is because they didn't take any risk. They just did the jersey and it's basic like high school jersey, but it looks good.
I
Diamondbacks.
yeah. I
Uh,
I love that jersey.
I do in the Serpientes, but like it's kind of boring. I just like it because I'm a sucker for cream. It
Oh, I
looks.
was talking about the Giants jersey.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the Diamondbacks with me. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for cream. We know that. We're both big suckers for cream. It looks like old school baseball, which I'm a big fan of, but I think it's also really boring.
They could have taken a bigger risk considering how sick their home jerseys are.
Yeah, how sick their actual unis are, and then they just kind of like basically the biggest risk they did here was just say serpents in Spanish.
Yeah. It kind of feels Los Dodgers esque, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's cream, so
Same vibe. Yeah.
it gets a B. Please scroll, Daddy. Hello. All right, so Chicago's coming swinging out the fence. Wrigleyville and Southside are both fucking absolutely sick homages to the neighborhoods that these two teams are in. I think the Wrigleyville jersey itself is kind of boring in the same aspect that the Baltimore one's boring. It's literally just bold script or bold block lettering that spell out Wrigleyville. I give them more credit because they went with blue and like a powder blue as opposed to just black and white, but probably a D for me.
Yeah, that feels fair.
The South Side jerseys with the fucking pinstripes though, those are an A.
Yeah. When those came out, I was really jealous of those.
Yeah, those are fucking hot. The Miami Marlins. I mean, I simultaneously
I'm gonna
hit me. Go first.
I'm gonna look directly into the camera that's not actually on right now
Uh huh.
and say this, Miami, you had every opportunity. It's called Miami Vice.
Right. That's my
That color scheme is sexy.
yes.
Why did you not do it? If they would have went black, the stripes be the Miami pink and the wording be Miami pink with the light blue, we're talking an S.
Yes.
But this, why is it red?
Because okay, so the reason why it's red is because Miami has a very, very large Cuban population, and they celebrated a that population by a tribute to the Cuban or the Havana Sugar Kings, which were the AAA team from Miami for a long, long time.
You failed.
I was really honestly half expecting you to be like fucking commies.
No,
I
this
give
next
it
one's
a
gonna hurt.
I give it a C. What did you give it?
I gave it an F.
Okay, so it gets a D. All right, the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox launched the City Connect series
To
with a
me,
radical idea: no red. Instead, the team went with yellow and blue jersey color combo that's a nod to the Boston Marathon. There's also a sleeve patch featuring Fenway Park's 617 area code.
this hurts to say, but I would put this as an S.
No,
I love this jersey. I
no.
don't
It
know
looks like
why.
Philadelphia's filled the. It looks like the Eagles jerseys that they wore that one fucking year for whatever their anniversary was, where they wore the blue
Oh
and yellow.
God.
Well, they wore the blue and yellow jerseys. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I get that they're trying to go outside of the fucking thing, but there's like literally Boston has so many relevant references they could have made, and they chose to do none of them. They could have done the Tea
That's
Party.
fair.
They could have done the Revolution. They could have done Paul Revere. They could have done a billion things, and instead they were like, "What if we didn't do red?" You know?
Right. But you got to keep in mind, Boston Marathon is a huge part of Baltimore or of Boston.
Yeah.
I feel like going and trying to relate with the Boston Marathon is I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a cop out, especially when you have that many things that you could reference.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not gonna
imagine,
lie, if
ima-
they had put like on the sleeve like dudes throwing tea into the harbor, it would be an ass all day because America, but
so the New York City Marathon, shocker, blue and orange. So I guess I can't even make
mhm.
this argument because blue and orange is the color of New York City and it's already the color of the Mets. So they would never do that. The Yankees would never do that. But theoretically, there's a million things that the New York Yankees could reference, even though they're not going to do a City Connect uniform, that they could. If they came out and just referenced some fucking thing that's very popular in New York, but isn't necessarily New York, wouldn't that fucking piss you off? Like, say, like the Yankees made an homage to the Tribeca Film Festival. Like, wouldn't you be like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, the Tribeca Film Festival was a big deal, and everybody knows about it. And like, usually, if you are in the Tribeca Film Festival, you're probably going to be up for an Oscar of some kind. But what the fuck does that have to do with the city and baseball and connecting these neighborhoods? Nothing.
I think the biggest thing that has to do with Boston is the marathon bombing.
But that's not. Look, that'd be like the
I
Yankees
feel
putting
like
the Twin
that
Towers in their fucking jerseys, bro.
do it.
They're not gonna do that. Number one, it's a cop out, and number
Do it.
two, it's shilly shit. Especially when you have whatever.
I mean,
So you're giving him an S. I'm giving him
the
a
only
D.
New York
No, what were you saying? The only New York what?
the only New York team that cannot put an homage to the Twin Towers on their jerseys or in anything as the Jets
How come the Giants can?
because they're a New York City team.
Are they?
They're the New York Giants.
They're the New York Jets.
Yes, but Jets took out the Towers.
Oh, I okay. I allow. Okay, I get that. Then I get it.
That just feels like it's in bad taste.
Yeah, I get it now. Okay, and that's fair. From that perspective, that's fair. I thought you were basically trying to say that one team of the two teams that played in the same fucking stadium was a New York City team, and the other one wasn't. And I'm like, that doesn't add up. But then when you came at me with that, I was like, you know what? I no notes. I have no fucking argument with that logic.
That's just I mean, people may feel different, but I just feel like you can't I feel like that could lead to some PR issues. And some of those may come from short, fat, and balding Twitter. But that's not the point, okay? But I just feel like they should probably not partake in that. Not that they ever would, because I swear to God, if the NFL does City Connect jerseys, I'm gonna blow my mind. I'm gonna blow my brains out.
If the NFL does,
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah,
aren't they allowing a
because
third?
guess who
A
they're also with?
Aren't they allowing a third jersey this year for the first time? Or maybe it's a
Um,
third
I
helmet
don't know if it's
color.
this year or next year. They've always had their jerseys, home, away, and alternate, and now they have Color Rush.
I thought there was something new they were doing. I think it's a third helmet color that they're allowing because you have
Third
the
helmet,
yeah,
yeah.
because you have the regular helmet, the color rush helmet, and now they're doing a third helmet that you can do. I guess.
What kind of
Um,
helmet would you like to see your Eagles do
I
if
would.
they do a third helmet?
I want the Eagles to go. I want the Eagles to go full bore back to Kelly Green. I want that to be the main fucking jersey.
I love the old Eagles helmet, the Kelly Green ones.
Yes, they're so good, and they're so just it's a good color combo. It's a good era. It's good everything. Nothing against. I mean, I do think that their all black unis are like pretty iconic, but I would prefer Kelly Green every day of the week. I just like the uniform, and I'd buy a fuck ton of them. I'd literally buy every player that I like in a Kelly Green jersey too.
Yeah, that's fair.
But as far as like if they did a City Connect, dude, I don't know enough about Philly to give you an honest answer. Like put a cheesesteak on the helmet. I don't know.
The Liberty Bell. I feel
Yeah.
like that's like the most iconic Philadelphia thing ever. Speaking of alternate jerseys, remember when the um Rangers came out with their alternates for this year?
Yeah, I hated them.
They've grown on me a lot.
I think they look a lot better on the ice than they do off the ice.
Yeah,
I think whatever they did with the design, it just pops on the ice and it looks really good. I still think the logo is way too fucking big. I think it looks ridiculous and cheap. But as far as the color combination and like
yeah,
especially like the way they did like that blended color on the sleeves, it just makes everything pop.
yeah. Like when I was ordering a jersey, I was trying to figure out which one I wanted, and I was like, I really like this alternate. Like the more I look at it, the more I appreciate it. And it's the stripes on the arms, I dig that really hard. And when it first came out, I was like, meh. But after seeing it a few times, I'm like, you know what? I really like that. I don't know. Hopefully, it'll be here for Game 7 on Saturday. Maybe Vinny Trocheck will hit a game winner, and I'll be able to go to bed happy that night.
Maybe. All right, I just posted our tier list, so let the haters fly.
Let him fly. I don't care. I'll fight them all. You probably should have waited until after the pod drops, but what are
No,
you gonna
dude.
do?
No, dude. they're gonna know before we, because I want them to see it before they hear our explanations why, so they can just get mad.
It's fair. It's fair. I'm here for it.
Because then it's like I gotta know why
Why
he
not piss off our fans?
why do you rank that low? Well, tune
Hmm,
in, find out.
tune in. Yeah, we'll tell you.
um,
No
is
issues
there
doing that.
anything that you'd like to say before we close out besides Nico's a bitch?
I actually wasn't gonna say Nico's a bitch tonight.
Oh, I was.
I was gonna be nice about things.
I mean, the fucking
Oh,
guy
okay.
knows that we record on Tuesday nights, and he consistently like volunteers for
Hmm.
shit that take place on Tuesday nights. He's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, plain and simple.
Just
Andy
like,
likes his steak well done with ketchup.
yeah, dude. Overall, just you know what? If we're ranking tier host, me and you S, Nico F.
Yeah. You know, no, that's not fair. He's a D because he's a dickhead.
Okay, I was gonna say F for fuckhead, but all right.
Oh, okay. F works again.
Yeah, all right, perfect.
We'll go with F. I like
Yeah,
that a little bit better. Yeah,
me and you
it
get
feels less
S's.
personal.
Me and you get S's for super sexy, and then Nico gets an F
Yeah,
for fuckhead. It's perfect.
yeah. I like it. I'm here for it.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah. Maybe next week there'll be a shorter person here.
It'd be nice if we could have the whole crew together on a every week basis again, but you never know.
I'm not gonna lie.
You're not here next week?
Next week? No, I'm here.
Okay.
I have an idea.
Okay.
We'll discuss this off
In private? Okay.
that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all right, cool. Well, we'll talk about it. Um that is it
All right.
for this week's episode. We will catch you guys the next one.
Mahatma Gandhi.